This is the breed we use for what Americans might call an unusual or rare dog. Hello, I'm Sarah, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the furry friends that America might have overlooked in the pound. And one of those overlooked pals pertains to dogs, or as they're known in the canine world, man's best friend. It means the same, but some are a bit more ... exotic. And of course, as a certified dog enthusiast, I've done my fair bit of breed research. Right, just off the top of my head. I've studied Labradors, German Shepherds, and I think from that I've learned about quite a few dogs. So I know what I'm barking about. But when it comes to the less common breeds, whether you're just looking for a unique companion or something eye-catching, it is worth learning that dogs in America aren't all golden retrievers and chihuahuas. And so without further ado, let's metaphorically wag our tails as I uncover some of the most uncommon dogs in America. When I was out there for the first time at the local dog show, living the canine lifestyle on my quest for rare breeds, the first surprising thing that I noticed is that some dogs in America, and as it turns out everywhere else, insist upon looking nothing like what you'd expect a dog to look like. Sarah, what do you mean by that? Well, here's how uncommon breeds. Breed. We'll get into terminology later. Take, for instance, the Chinese crested. When you first see one, you might think, is that even a dog? With its hairless body and tufts of fur on its head, feet, and tail, it looks more like a punk rock chihuahua than your average pooch. In America, I don't know why my hand is still up there mimicking a mohawk. In America, it's a little bit different because that same dog that you might see at a show and talk to its owner and ask them if it needs sunscreen, and they actually know what you're talking about, is considered quite the conversation starter. And this is where those canine differences really take shape, or should I say size. Because there's one key rule. On the whole, uncommon dog breeds tend to be either much smaller or much larger than their popular counterparts. And the reason for this, as we all know, is that America loves extremes. But it's also because breeders are always looking for the next big thing. A tiny, uncommon breed was where I first met the Affenpinscher, and they were about the size of this microphone, which surprisingly, given that I am often dubbed America's finest dog whisperer, is not that big. And at the best of times, I don't like being slobbered on by giant dogs. But being face-to-face with this monkey-faced little guy was the second most surprising experience of my life. And I know what you're thinking. Ooh, Sarah? What was the first? Being mistaken for a fire hydrant by a Great Dane. But the next time we met at an American dog show, we sure did have a chuckle. At least I think we did. I couldn't hear them because they were on the other side of the room, probably being judged in the toy group. You see, uncommon American dog breeds like car models or coffee sizes or America itself are just more diverse. I mean, they'd have to be, right? Especially given what we've discovered on this channel about the differences in popular breeds. Of course, a breed is not the only thing that makes a dog unique. In addition to the breed, the temperament, and in desperate times, the grooming needs, which should prompt nobody to ask me about the poodle incident of 2005, there is also the origin. And I know what you're thinking. Yes, Sarah. The British Bulldog has an underbite. Well, firstly, that's not always true. And secondly, that's not where I was going with this. I was actually going to mention the Catahoula Leopard Dog because, while in America, this breed is recognized by the United Kennel Club, this is often not the case in other countries. To go from unknown to recognized, you often have to kind of step up, because the breed standards are higher up than the floor of public opinion. There's one thing to remember: this getting recognized. But getting out when your breed is wet and soapy from all that showing, it could lead to an unintentionally hilarious TikTok video. In fact, I do have footage. But I can't show it on here because I'd get hundreds of complaints and an equal number of adoption requests. So just take my word for it. Rare breeds are of course found in many places and through much of our daily lives, but never more do I need them than when I'm at a dog show. So because of this, it is worth remembering some of the key differences between common and uncommon dog breeds. Don't take my word for it. Instead, listen to me from last year. It was once said by me in Just a Second From Now that you can tell a lot about a country by the diversity of its dog breeds. And given its unparalleled record of boasting larger stuff than everyone else, America might fancy its chances of winning the "my dog's weirder than your dog" debate. But the truth is, and you might find this shocking, some of the rarest breeds aren't even from America. You can't talk about uncommon dogs without talking about origins. Origins are the historical roots that keep the breed attached to its homeland like a docked tail. And the only reason I made a nautical sim there was to draw your attention to the miniature lighthouse I made from dog treats while I was bored. Anyway, there are several key differences in this department. Some uncommon breeds, like the Xoloitzcuintli, are ancient and revered in their home countries. This makes them culturally significant and impossible to pronounce. How do I know that? Because I was a dog show announcer once. But whereas some rare breeds, that is, breeds like the Azawakh, are decidedly exotic, that's not always the case in America. Sure, the Chinook, which looks like a surprised husky, definitely does have American origins. But the New Guinea singing dog, which is easily the more outgoing and vocal of the two, is from, well, New Guinea. Due to the manner in which each country develops its native breeds, there's also a difference in how they're recognized internationally. In some countries, the wire hangs vertically from the plug, thus making it harder to yank from the wall by pulling the cable. And the horizontal connection of American plugs means that you can do this in theory, but it's not recommended. Wait, why am I talking about plugs? Let's get back to dogs. One of the biggest concerns for Americans adopting uncommon breeds, aside from being forced to learn how to pronounce Xoloitzcuintli, is the great divide in care requirements. In some cases, rare breed care is categorized as high maintenance, while it's generally low for popular breeds. Moreover, uncommon breeds might operate on a different frequency when it comes to exercise needs and temperament. What does all of this mean? Well, let's just say that you want to adopt a Bergamasco sheepdog, but it doesn't run on the same energy level as your lifestyle. It's not dual purpose, or is incompatible with your 50 Hz daily routine. In that instance, you'll need to run to the local pet store to pick up some special grooming tools. A slicker brush will convert the Bergamasco's cords from dreadlocks to, well, slightly neater dreadlocks. In the event that your grooming kit doesn't come with a deshedding tool, be sure to also pick up one of these. This deshedding tool is magic. It allows you to turn your Type A shedding nightmare into a Type B manageable coat. For potential owners visiting breeders, the same applies, but in reverse. A step-by-step training guide or behaviorist might also be needed to safely integrate these unique dogs into your home. Both are widely available for Americans on Amazon. Just kidding. Please consult professionals for dog training and care. I'd say the most obvious difference between common and uncommon dog breeds is the reaction they get from people. When I first walked an Afghan hound down the street, I couldn't believe how many heads turned and nodded in a Morgan Freeman type way. I mean, this was a supermodel of a dog. I just mean it was a catching. But in America, you don't usually have that problem and/or luxury, because a significant amount of American dogs are either not uncommon or not uncommon enough. This is a particular problem when you're squished in an elevator with your future in-laws and their pulley, which looks like a mop come to life. As with many areas of life, dogs are their own subgenre of common versus uncommon breed differences. Take, for instance, the name that we assign to that helpful canine companion who assists people with disabilities. In the common dog world, this is known as a service dog. This is the term we use for what owners of uncommon breeds might call a working dog or an assistance dog. Also, whether it's situated on the ground or the first floor of shows, common and uncommon breeds also can't agree on what you call that area of the dog show that you enter. Upon entering, we usually opt for the word benching area. Please note that newcomers, just like patrons on my most recent secret livestream, are divided on whether this should be pronounced benching area or where do I put my dog. Either way, dog show veterans will often call this area the staging area. More often than not, owners of common breeds will call a dog park a dog park. Owners of uncommon breeds will call a dog park an opportunity for education. While Americans have about 100 words for a mixed breed dog, chief among these are mutt, Heinz 57, All-American, or Rescue. And finally, breed-specific legislation. This is something I've encountered far more in discussions about uncommon breeds than I have with common ones. This is a type of law that restricts or bans certain breeds based on their perceived danger. But the use of BSL might be confusing to some dog lovers. You might think of BSL, often pronounced hassle, as a way to keep communities safe. A fine example of which is the character of the overzealous HOA president from every suburban sitcom that I somehow keep mentioning in my videos just by coincidence. That's it for this video. Let me know in the comments below some of the uncommon dog breeds that you've encountered. I'm Sarah Brown. You can follow me on Twitter at lost_in_the_pound US, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I do that my videos don't get lost in the dog park. Thank you to my patrons for literally making this video happen. If you would like to support this channel, you can do so today at patreon.com/lost_in_the_pound. Till the next video, goodbye, and remember, every dog is special, even if it looks like it fell out of the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down.